Hey, hi. Let me adjust here a little bit. Okay. Well, it looks like, oh, there we go. Hi. My name is Jarrett Earl Casey, sorry. It is Wednesday, January 20th, 2021. It's 11:03 a.m. and I'm at my parents' house up in Ogden. And I just wanted to check in. I haven't done one of these for probably 4 or 5 days now. It's been a very challenging few days. Oh gosh, I don't even know where to start. Let's see, Friday, or was it Saturday? Saturday, I got home, I think it was Saturday. And I was in my apartment and I heard all kinds of screams. Not out loud, not nearby, but maybe, but in the mind. And in that experience, I felt like I was in a sphere, like a globe, with all these other worlds or dimensions or times spinning and swirling around me. And that globe were like my, I don't know, but so they would go and then one of them would stop and we'd be somewhere. But I was just there in my room. I wouldn't go anywhere, but it was like we'd stopped somewhere. And each place or time or dimension was just being ravaged by I don't know who, just people that I don't know, people that don't like people. And it was very scary. And for some reason, I could just hear sorry. Hi. It's a dog. Hello. Say hi. Hi. So anyways, it was just a difficult night. I just sat there. Maybe it was Friday night. I gotta check my I'm gonna check my journal. I think maybe it was Friday night. All the days have been stringing together. Basically every night's been like, yeah, just really awful. So anyways, I think it was Friday. But I had oh, okay. Is that it, the 13th? Oh no, it wasn't the 13th. I can't believe it's already this time. The 15th? The 15th. Sorry. Someone's like, be prepared. Yeah, it was Friday the 15th. No, it wasn't. Well, maybe I didn't write about it. I thought I remembered writing about it, but in any case, I was talking to this guy who thinks that he is like the owner of a. I wasn't talking to him. In the mind, he was. So he was part of this. He kept making demands on me. He wanted me to delete my Facebook, and he said he was like the god of a magical kingdom, and he just really wanted. He just is very conservative. Someone said, yeah. So he has this. You know in Aladdin how they have the cave of whatever it is, the one with all the treasure in it. He has, and how it talks, and he's like, only a diamond in the rough or whatever. He has a voice like that sometimes when he tries to make demands of people or say scary things. It's not me, it's this guy who also, I don't know, he's big on historic reenactments, I guess. Him and his church or his people, they like to reenact different things through time, different wars or battles or events. And so he was doing something like that. But then I also had a memory that night of Nephi, first Nephi. The story when him and his father and brothers go down into the wilderness. And then they're sent up to get their genealogy. I had a memory of that too. But it was all during this really, really scary night. And I thought for sure it was like the end of the world. And I was just huddled in our apartment, like shaking. It was so, so scary. And some people thought I was somehow involved, but oh, it's cold out there. But I wasn't. I just remembered all these people. And I think that there's these beings out there through time and space that are very powerful and they're all connected. And I think somehow I've met a lot of them, both light and dark. And I can't figure out why or how. But so when things like this come up, it's like, oh, I remember this person. I remember this person. And then people are like, why would you know that person? Like, I don't know. I think we were just all sent like together once, or I know I went and spent time with different families and different stuff like that. But anyways, so the next day it was Saturday. It was Saturday because the next day I had so that next morning I went outside. I was like, I'm so scared, I gotta go somewhere. I thought, okay, I can go home to my parents, or I can go to this rehearsal for Viva La Diva show, or I can stay here, or I can walk to Tucson. Walk to Tucson. I remember that now. But I thought, okay, I know I've got to go to this rehearsal. I said I would be there. It was at 4 at the Urban Lounge. So we went there. I decided that at like 3, and I couldn't get there in time because the train wasn't going to get me there in time. And I'll tell you, as I was walking through the neighborhood, the dimension had changed, and it was really scary. All the houses were really, and there's nothing wrong with kind of a dumpy house. Like, that's fine. That's not scary. But there's like a quality and a kind of an overall energy and kind of message that I'm like, okay, this isn't good. It was just really scary. So anyways, I had to call my friend Michael, who was also going to be at the rehearsal, and have him pick me up. And we went there together, and we walked in, and I immediately was like, I don't know if I can be here. There were like pagan idolatry on the walls. I did say that. Yeah. We were talking a lot about sex, and then I kept hearing things like on the other side. Like, you said it was just a restaurant and they were having brunch, but I'm like, it doesn't sound like brunch, and it's 5 p.m. and there's like loud music playing, and I think I hear people screaming, but of course I think I hear people screaming everywhere I go now, and I'm like, I don't know if that's just, am I just always going to hear people screaming, or like, I don't know why I would ever hear that. I've never heard that in my life. Or it's like, is there something going on that I don't know of? So in my head just says they're trying to replace everyone. And they even say that I've been replaced, and that's why I find myself in this place. And so they just keep going through time and trying to replace everybody. So, but so I don't know if that's where the screams are coming from. Just everybody being replaced. I don't know why you're trying to replace people. Just replace yourself. And that doesn't mean get rid of yourself and then come back as yourself. Just like move yourself somewhere else, replace yourself. I mean, and you don't have to like take someone out to put yourself in. You can just stand next to them or with them. You can become friends with them or whatever. You don't have to try and replace people. But that audition, or it wasn't an audition. I keep calling it an audition because it was our first rehearsal, but I didn't fill out the paperwork. I was like, I don't think I can do this. I think I'm just too, I guess, conservative. I'm not. I'm very open-minded, but it was just really difficult for me. So Jason Cosmo, he's the owner of the show, and I have memories about him from the future where he is actually very, very successful, and I think his higher self or whatever is like a Vietnamese guy who's also named Jason Cosmo. I have a memory of that, and he has a Galaxy class starship. Anyways, I had to leave, so he called me a Lyft, and when I first put in my address, it came up as something Villas, and I'm like, oh no, that's not my apartment. So he put it in again, and then it came up correctly, and I sorry, I hear something outside. So anyways, I he called me a lift, and it wasn't the the apartment complex came up correctly the second time, and I thought that first name, I'm like, I think I remember planning this life, and those are like that's like a much nicer address, and those are actually really nice apartments because it was like Sim City, you know, where you build a building, and then as it gets nicer, the building just boop, turns into a new really nice building. And so I was like, and it was kind of like a Sim City name. And I thought, oh my gosh, okay. So I think he's trying to show off and show me that he lives like upstairs or whatever, and that I live downstairs. But it made me excited because I'm like, oh, I remember doing that. I planned so many great things for this life. Um, but he, anyways, it picked me up and it took me home. And the driver was from Iran. I think, did I already video journal about this? I think I did. I think I'm a day off. But no, it's me. I just, since it's been a few days since I've done this, I can't remember if I already talked about this, but I remember saying that my driver was from Iran. So I think maybe I have, although, no, I think I journaled both now. So, but it was a very quiet ride because I felt like the sun was like a blazing orange, and not the sun, the sky with the clouds, and I could smell smoke coming in the car, and then and I thought, I think someone's dying, and I got scared. The whole night was scary. The whole night was scary. There are these people that look the same, and they all look the same. I don't. They're like, you mean Mormon people? They all look the same. I'm like, no, they like look the same. Their facial features are like they're a family or something. They all come from the same family, but they just appear in places, and I call them beings of darkness. Now they're different. Um, but I think there was one of them there at the rehearsal, and he was nice enough, but I thought all these things are just red flags. Although there was a red flag driving up, because Michael picked me up in a car that I was like, oh, I didn't know he had this car, and he was kind of quiet, and then he drove to the wrong venue. I thought he drove to Metro, and I'm like, it's actually at Urban Lounge. Did you not get the text? And he's like, no, it's here. It's here. He's like, it's always here. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I have the text right here. It's from Jason. It says Urban Lounge. So, but he went there, and then he's like, oh, I guess it is at Urban Lounge. And so then we went to Urban, walked in. It was way scary. And I thought, it was just very dark. And so I finally, and then they didn't even start rehearsing. We were there for like an hour, and they were all just kind of standing there as we were hearing. I don't know if they were hearing anything, but I'm like, does anyone hear that? And she's like, oh, it's just the next door restaurant. They're doing brunch or something. I'm like, okay, it's 5, and I don't think that restaurant's open. And I'm like, can I just go back through that and just go check back there? I'm just gonna go check. And he's like, no, no, no. And he's like standing in my way. Which So finally, he's like, "Let me call you. Can I get you a lift home? Like, let me get you a lift home." Okay. I mean, no, you don't have to do that, or you don't have to pay for that. I'm like, I don't want you to pay for that. He's like, oh, it's a company card. It's the company card. I'm like, okay. Um, so he called me that lift home, and I got home. I was immediately scared. I started walking south, and I got, I don't know, a block, and I got scared, and I walked back again, and I thought, I don't want to go to my apartment. It's too scary, because the night before, when it was like, I thought it was the apocalypse. um, and so I called my mom, and I just stood in one spot. I'm like, I'm just gonna stand in one spot on the street. And she came to pick me up. She got in the car, and we started driving. And it was really exciting at first, but then she turned into the apartment, and I'm like, don't turn in the apartment. I'm like, I think she has these people that step in and like do the wrong thing. I'm like, no, we're supposed to go straight. Oh, I thought we want to go through the apartment. I'm like, no, just like we should have just kept going. We were like, it was like really feeling really good. You could tell she was like really excited. And then and it was like, and so we went and it kind of just slowly deteriorated. I'm like, ugh. And we finally sat and talked, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. And I'm sorry that you have to keep coming to save me, because I'm always scared. But she took me home. I was like, can I come up with you guys tonight? She's like, no, you can't. So I got home, and my apartment smelled like chemicals, like really bad. And my head was so fuzzy wuzzy and like airy, but not a good airy or fuzzy. And I couldn't sleep. And I kept trying to lay down, and every time I laid down, all the energy would drain from my body. So I'd stand up, but I couldn't fall asleep. And I just sat there. And I thought, okay, I'm just gonna get a hotel room. I can't afford it, but somebody kept saying, we need you to sleep upstairs. Like, you need to sleep upstairs, and then you'll be healed, and you can start healing people. And so we'll all get better, but you need to sleep upstairs. And like, my apartments are like subterranean. So the first floor is halfway below ground and halfway above ground. So I go down three steps to go into my apartment. And she's like, you're downstairs right now. You need to be upstairs. You need to sleep upstairs. And so I was like, what if I like created little stairs up to the kitchen counter, and I could like sleep and go up the stairs and then sleep on the counter? Would that work? But anyways, I thought, okay, I'm just gonna get a hotel room, and then I can sleep, because I like really need to sleep. And then I'll come back, and I'll air out the apartment tomorrow, and it'll be okay. But like, I literally can't even breathe with this air. So I called the Lyft and went to a hotel in Sandy. When I walked up, and it was really dark outside. And the sliding door was locked, so I had to ring a buzzer. I went in, and online it had rooms for $53, but he said they were 90. I'm like, oh. So I looked it up again, and the listing I had found was gone, but they were there for 70. And he's like, I can do 70. I was thinking, I'm like, oh, even 53 was going to be too much. I shouldn't spend any money. I don't have a job. I just can't sleep in that apartment. I just literally can't sleep. But I thought, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'll just call Lyft and go back. I'll just stay up all night. So I left, and then I thought, no, I'm going to do it. I went back in, and then I was like, no, I'm not. So I called another Lyft. It took quite a while to get to me. And then he was another one of the people that looked like a being of darkness. So, but he was the Lyft driver that came, so I went home. I think I might be getting my nights mixed up. Anyways, I came home and it happened again. There was just screams all night. I ended up calling. It was stupid, but I called 911. Oh, there are fingerprints appearing on my screen. Mhm. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop filming this. I love all of you very much, and anyways, it's just been a difficult time, but I'm still here. I'm still alive. I keep hearing that my last day is near. I don't know. I keep hearing that I'm supposed to delete my Facebook, which my understanding is the exact opposite, that it's actually a very important thing to have. But I love you, and I want all of you to have a wonderful week. Oh, I was going to read, I should have read from the course first. Attainment of the real world. Can we read this? Sit quietly and look upon the world you see and tell yourself the real world is not like this. It has no buildings and there are no streets where people walk alone and separate. There are no stores where people buy an endless list of things they do not need. It is not lit with artificial light, and night comes not upon it. There is no day that brightens and grows dim. There is no loss. Nothing is there but shines and shines forever. The world you see must be denied, for sight of it is costing you a different kind of vision. You cannot see both worlds. For each of them involves a different kind of seeing and depends on what you cherish. The sight of one is possible because you have denied the other. Both are not true, yet either one will seem as real to you as the amount to which you hold it dear. And yet their power is not the same, because their real attraction to you is unequal. I gotta go. I'm sorry. I just felt an energy shift. So you all have a wonderful day. I love you very much. I'm gonna read something really quick. That sorry. My Facebook has gotten really weird too. I feel like everyone is my mom posted this. She tagged me in this today. It says, it's a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. And I just want to thank her. She's so amazing. And it's been really difficult to be around the last few days. I just need to talk. But driving around is the hardest thing here. I used to just drive, but now it's very stressful to do. Anyways, I love you. Just driving, can you believe it? Oh, and I hope the Trumps experience a lot of healing and recovery. I do not agree with almost any of these decisions that have been made in this country, but I do want healing and growth and happiness for everyone, and recovery if they aren't making the right choices. And I don't want to talk to, I pray for the new President Biden and Kamala Harris. They might lead this country into love and healing and growth and peace and prosperity for all people, equality and justice. So, anyways, there's a very bright sun out there. It was out yesterday too. It's a very hot sun. But anyways, I love you. God bless all of you. God bless every family and every endeavor to be good and true to life and to love. And may we all receive forgiveness for our mistakes, however dumb they are, or however dumb we are. We are perfectly loved.